She looked like the weakest in camp, until 5 armed men rushed her, and in a blink, all 5 were on the ground. The morning sun cast long shadows across Naval Special Warfare Group 4's training compound, where Lieutenant Commander Maria Rodriguez had endured 12 weeks of relentless contempt from warriors who viewed her medical officer's uniform as proof she belonged in a hospital emergency room rather than among America's most elite fighters. The mockery came in waves, during equipment checks where she struggled with gear designed for larger frames, through tactical demonstrations where her obvious discomfort with violence marked her as fundamentally different, and especially during the cruel whispered conversations that followed her everywhere like a toxic cloud. Before we uncover this amazing story, tell us in the comments which country you're watching from today. And if you believe that the most dangerous people are often those who look the most harmless, hit that subscribe button to support our channel. We're honored to share these remarkable stories with you. There's our liability. Senior Chief Petty Officer Jake "Hammer" Thompson would announce whenever she approached their training area, his voice carrying enough venom to ensure every SEAL candidate could participate in the ritual humiliation. They watched her fumble with weapons that seemed too heavy for her small hands, snickered when she appeared overwhelmed by demonstrations of tactical violence that were second nature to them, and treated her presence like a bureaucratic joke imposed by soft-hearted administrators who didn't understand what real warriors needed to survive their missions. What they couldn't have imagined, what their institutional arrogance had blinded them to completely, was that the woman they dismissed as the weakest link in their chain possessed capabilities that made their elite training look like children's games, and that when genuine danger finally materialized at their facility, she would demonstrate why her previous assignment had been classified at levels that made their security clearances look like library cards. They only knew her as Lieutenant Commander Maria Rodriguez, the Navy medical officer assigned to provide healthcare support for SEAL Team 6 Advanced Tactical Training Program at their classified facility near Virginia Beach. 13 weeks into what should have been routine medical oversight, she had become the unit's unofficial symbol of administrative weakness, living proof that Pentagon bureaucrats who had never held a weapon in anger were forcing elite combat teams to accommodate personnel who clearly lacked the killer instinct required for special operations success. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez stood exactly 5 feet 3 inches in her regulation combat boots, with dark brown hair that fought military standards despite her obvious efforts to maintain professional appearance, and hazel eyes that seemed to absorb the harsh treatment with what appeared to be patient resignation rather than smoldering anger. She moved through her medical duties with quiet professionalism while enduring the kind of systematic harassment that would have broken lesser personnel, maintaining the emotional reserve that suggested she understood her role was healthcare support rather than tactical participation in their world of calculated violence. To Senior Chief Petty Officer Jake "Hammer" Thompson, who commanded the Advanced Tactical Training Program with authority earned through 29 years of special operations, including classified missions and conflicts that remained officially non-existent. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez represented the kind of administrative liability that compromised unit effectiveness by forcing elite operators to accommodate personnel who fundamentally didn't understand the predatory mindset required for successful special operations in hostile territory. Senior Chief Thompson had built his formidable reputation through a combination of tactical innovation, proven lethality, and demonstrated ability to transform ordinary sailors into extraordinary killers capable of accomplishing missions that conventional forces considered impossible or suicidal. His training methods emphasized controlled aggression, tactical precision, and the psychological conditioning required to take human life without hesitation when American interests demanded ultimate solutions to strategic problems. The medical officer provides adequate routine healthcare delivery, Thompson had mentioned to his senior instructor team during their weekly evaluation session, but her presence creates distractions that interfere with the aggressive mindset we need to develop effective operators. Combat training requires understanding that violence isn't clinical. It's personal, immediate, and absolutely necessary for mission accomplishment. Someone who treats tactical operations like medical procedures can't contribute to developing warriors who understand what it means to kill or be killed. Master Chief Petty Officer Carlos Santos, who served as Thompson's operations chief and possessed extensive experience integrating support personnel, in a SEAL training environments, offered perspective based on his observations during Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's prolonged assignment. Senior Chief, some medical officers maintain professional boundaries without necessarily participating in tactical culture, Santos replied, while reviewing training performance metrics. But her medical competence during exercises has been exceptional. Trauma response procedures are expertly executed, battlefield medicine knowledge is comprehensive, and her understanding of combat injuries exceeds most military medical personnel we've encountered during deployments. Thompson's concerns extended far beyond technical medical competence to fundamental questions about Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's psychological compatibility with the intensely aggressive culture that defines successful special operations units and their effectiveness in eliminating threats to American security interests. Master Chief Santos, medical technical skills become irrelevant if someone lacks the killer instinct required for understanding what we accomplish through tactical training, Thompson explained while studying personnel evaluation reports. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez observes our operations like she's conducting sociological research instead of understanding that we're preparing operators to eliminate America's enemies through precision application of lethal force. The SEAL candidates participating in the advanced tactical training had developed their collective assessment of Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez based on 13 weeks of daily interaction and careful observation of her reactions to their demanding preparation for the world's most challenging military assignments. Chief Petty Officer Roberto Viper Martinez, a decorated veteran of multiple classified direct action operations whose tactical expertise and proven combat effectiveness had earned him recognition as one of the unit's most capable operators, had emerged as the informal spokesman for candidate concerns about their assigned medical officer's apparent incompatibility with SEAL culture and operational requirements. Martinez's extensive background included successful missions in hostile urban environments where medical support had proven absolutely crucial for mission accomplishment and personnel survival. But Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez seemed fundamentally different from the combat medics and medical officers who'd earned his professional respect through shared danger and mutual commitment to operational excellence under the most challenging conditions. Doc Rodriguez handles standard medical procedures professionally, Martinez had commented to his fellow operators during recovery between advanced tactical exercises, but she doesn't understand or appreciate what makes SEAL operations different from regular military medical support. Look at her reaction during live fire exercises. She acts like controlled violence is a medical emergency, instead of recognizing that tactical aggression is the foundation of everything we accomplish operationally. Petty Officer First Class Tommy Ghost Williams, whose previous Navy assignments had included extensive cooperation with various military medical units during joint training operations and actual combat deployments, offered alternative perspective based on his broader exposure to healthcare personnel functioning in diverse military operational environments. Some medical officers just focus on healthcare responsibilities without fully embracing tactical culture that exceeds their professional requirements, Martinez, Williams observed while conducting post-training equipment maintenance procedures. Doesn't necessarily indicate they lack understanding of operational medicine or can't function effectively when situations become serious and people start requiring immediate medical intervention under hostile fire conditions. Martinez's assessment reflected the prevailing opinion among most operators participating in the training program. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's obvious discomfort with SEAL aggressive culture, her apparent inability to appreciate the tactical methodologies that define special operations effectiveness, and her consistent professional distance from unit social dynamics suggested fundamental psychological incompatibility with supporting elite military operations in environments where enemies specifically targeted medical assets. Williams' effective special operations medical support requires understanding the warrior mentality that keeps American operators alive in environments where medical personnel become primary targets. Martinez replied with confidence derived from extensive combat experience and peer validation from operators who'd proven their effectiveness under the most challenging operational conditions. Doc Rodriguez treats tactical training like it's incompatible with medical ethics, instead of recognizing that operational effectiveness protects the people she's supposed to be supporting medically when things go bad in hostile territory. The comprehensive security exercise that would completely transform everyone's understanding occurred during week 14 of the advanced training program, when Senior Chief Thompson decided to conduct a realistic threat response evaluation designed to test every aspect of the facility's security procedures under conditions that simulated actual hostile infiltration attempts. The exercise was specifically designed to evaluate facility defense capabilities, personnel response protocols, and tactical coordination during scenarios where enemy forces attempted to compromise training operations through direct assault on American military installations and personnel. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez was assigned to provide medical oversight from the facility's medical station, positioned where she could monitor the security exercise while remaining available for immediate medical response if training accidents occurred during the realistic combat scenarios that characterized advanced SEAL preparation. But the security exercise became something far more dangerous when actual hostile forces infiltrated the training facility during what everyone believed was controlled training, creating a situation where American military personnel faced genuine threats during what they had assumed was routine tactical preparation. The first indication of real danger came when the facility's automated threat detection systems identified armed individuals who weren't part of the planned exercise, moving through the compound with tactical precision that exceeded anything expected from training opposition forces. Alert! 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 The facility's security system announced with the urgent tone reserved for genuine emergencies rather than training scenarios. Multiple armed intruders detected in Compound Alpha. All personnel implement immediate lockdown procedures. This is not a training exercise. Repeat, this is not a training exercise. Armed subjects are considered extremely dangerous and have already engaged facility security personnel. Senior Chief Thompson's combat experience activated automatically as he processed the implications of genuine hostile infiltration during their tactical training exercise. The candidates and instructors were dispersed throughout the facility with various weapons and equipment, creating tactical opportunities but also coordination challenges during emergency response to legitimate threats. All personnel implement immediate security protocols, Thompson commanded through the facility communication network. Establish defensive positions, secure all weapons and equipment, and maintain communication discipline while we coordinate tactical response to confirmed hostile forces. The SEAL candidates responded with training reinforced through years of tactical preparation, seeking defensive positions while maintaining awareness of their environment and potential threat vectors from unknown enemy forces who had somehow penetrated their secure facility. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez was positioned at the medical station when the genuine emergency developed, but instead of focusing solely on medical preparations for potential casualties, she was conducting systematic threat assessment with tactical awareness that seemed completely inconsistent with her apparent separation from SEAL operational culture. The emergency escalated rapidly when 5 armed intruders appeared in the main corridor leading to the medical facility, moving with coordinated tactical precision while carrying military-style weapons and demonstrating familiarity with the facility layout that suggested extensive prior reconnaissance. The hostile forces were clearly targeting the medical station, understanding that eliminating medical support would compromise facility defense capabilities while creating psychological pressure that could affect overall tactical response to their infiltration attempt. Senior Chief Thompson, who was coordinating defensive operations from the facility's tactical command center, realized that Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez was isolated in a position that made her vulnerable to immediate hostile engagement without backup support or defensive assistance from other facility personnel. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, Thompson's voice came through the communication network with obvious concern. Armed hostiles are moving toward your position. Implement immediate evacuation procedures and move to secure Area Delta 7 for protection until we can establish tactical response. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's response revealed situational awareness and tactical knowledge that exceeded anything Thompson had observed during her 13 weeks of assignment to their facility. Senior Chief Thompson, I have visual contact with 5 armed subjects advancing toward medical station. She replied through the communication system with measured professionalism. Tactical assessment indicates coordinated assault team with military training and advanced weapons systems. Current position provides defensive advantages if engagement becomes necessary. Thompson processed the implications of Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's tactical assessment while coordinating facility defense operations, understanding that she was describing capabilities for threat evaluation that exceeded standard medical training. But before Thompson could respond with additional evacuation instructions, the situation deteriorated when the 5 armed intruders reached the medical station and began advancing toward Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez with obvious hostile intent. What occurred in the following 12 seconds would be analyzed, studied, and remembered throughout naval special warfare as a demonstration of capabilities that challenged every assumption about medical officer training and operational background. The 5 armed intruders approached Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, expecting to encounter routine medical personnel who would require protection or evacuation during tactical operations. Instead, they found someone whose response to their threat was so unexpected and effective that their coordinated assault became a catastrophic failure before they could implement their planned attack. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's initial movement wasn't defensive retreat or calls for assistance that the intruders expected from medical support personnel. Instead, she engaged the first attacker with explosive speed and tactical precision that transformed her from apparent victim into something far more dangerous than any of the 5 trained operatives had anticipated. Her technique for neutralizing the first intruder was executed with flawless combat knowledge. A combination of striking techniques, weapon disarmament, and tactical positioning that used his momentum and weapon positioning against him while rendering his training and equipment advantages completely irrelevant to the engagement outcome. The first intruder was down and disarmed within 2 seconds, his weapon secured and his ability to continue the assault eliminated through submission techniques that prevented resistance while avoiding fatal injuries that would complicate post-incident investigation procedures. The second and third intruders attempted coordinated engagement from different angles, implementing tactical approaches designed to overwhelm single opponents through superior numbers and synchronized attacks that had proven effective during their previous operations. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez responded to their coordinated assault with combat techniques that revealed extensive training and systems specifically designed for engaging multiple armed opponents simultaneously under conditions where conventional weapons weren't available or tactically appropriate. Her movement patterns demonstrated perfect understanding of positioning, tactical sequencing, and combat psychology that enabled her to engage multiple attackers without allowing them to coordinate their assault or utilize their numerical advantages effectively. The second intruder found himself disarmed and controlled within 3 seconds of engaging Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, his weapon secured and his tactical position neutralized through techniques that demonstrated advanced military combat training far beyond anything available through standard medical officer preparation programs. The third intruder's engagement revealed combat capabilities that challenged everything the remaining attackers understood about medical personnel and their expected response to armed assault. His attempt to use superior reach and weapon advantages was defeated through tactical knowledge that enabled Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez to neutralize his threats while positioning herself for engagement with the remaining hostile forces. The fourth and fifth intruders, realizing that their coordinated assault had failed catastrophically, attempted tactical withdrawal while maintaining defensive positions that would allow them to regroup and implement alternative attack strategies. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez pursued the retreating intruders with tactical aggression that demonstrated combat, training and pursuit techniques, and battlefield psychology that prevented enemy forces from establishing defensive positions or coordinating counterattacks during tactical withdrawal. Her engagement with the fourth intruder involved advanced grappling and striking combinations that neutralized his weapon systems, while controlling his tactical position through techniques that exceeded advanced military combat training programs available through conventional special operations preparation. The fifth intruder, who had observed the systematic defeat of his 4 team members, attempted to surrender while maintaining access to backup weapons that could be used if opportunity for renewed assault presented itself during tactical resolution procedures. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's final engagement demonstrated tactical awareness and threat assessment capabilities that recognized attempted deception while ensuring that all hostile forces were completely neutralized and secured according to procedures that protected both facility personnel and captured enemy operatives. Within 12 seconds of initial contact, All 5 armed intruders who had infiltrated the facility with coordinated assault plans were neutralized, disarmed, and controlled by someone the SEAL candidates had been dismissing as unsuitable for tactical environments and operational support roles. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez immediately conducted medical assessment of all 5 neutralized subjects to ensure that her combat techniques had achieved tactical objectives without causing injuries that would interfere with intelligence gathering operations and legal proceedings that would follow the security incident. The facility was completely silent as 40 SEAL candidates, multiple instructors, and facility personnel tried to process what they had witnessed through security monitoring systems that had recorded every second of an engagement that exceeded anything they had observed during their military careers. Senior Chief Thompson was the first to speak when he reached the medical station, and his voice carried the kind of professional recognition that comes from witnessing exceptional tactical performance under genuine combat conditions. Outstanding tactical response, Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez. Thompson announced with respect that contrasted completely with his previous dismissive assessment of her capabilities and potential contributions to operational effectiveness. That was combat excellence at the highest professional level under actual threat conditions. Martinez approached Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez with obvious amazement and rapidly developing respect for tactical capabilities that had completely contradicted his assessment of her operational suitability and combat potential. "Ma'am," Martinez said while observing the 5 neutralized intruders and secured weapons that confirmed her exceptional tactical performance. "Where did you develop combat capabilities that could defeat 5 armed opponents with coordinated assault training?" Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez was conducting systematic medical evaluation of the neutralized subjects while responding with the same professional composure she maintained during routine medical procedures and administrative discussions. Previous assignments required medical personnel to operate in environments where conventional security assets weren't consistently available, and medical officers needed tactical capabilities for protecting patients and accomplishing healthcare missions when hostile forces threatened medical operations and personnel safety, she explained while monitoring vital signs and conducting injury assessments. Williams asked the question that everyone present was thinking but hadn't yet formulated clearly. "Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, what kind of medical assignments required tactical training sufficient to defeat coordinated assault teams under combat conditions?" Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's answer provided insight into military specialties and operational environments that most SEAL personnel never encountered despite their extensive experience with classified missions and advanced tactical training. Medical officers assigned to certain special operations units sometimes function independently in denied territory, where healthcare responsibilities and tactical security requirements become integrated operational functions rather than separated military occupational specialties, she replied while continuing her medical assessments and ensuring all subjects remained stable pending security force arrival. Senior Chief Thompson, whose entire professional assessment of Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez had been transformed by witnessing tactical capabilities that exceeded anything he had expected from medical personnel, approached with obvious respect and professional curiosity about combat training that had produced such exceptional results. "Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez," Thompson said with the recognition that exceptional tactical competence demanded, "I need to understand your operational background and specialized training so we can properly integrate your capabilities into our facility security protocols and tactical instruction programs." Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's response revealed specialized military experience that exceeded Thompson's understanding of medical officer career progression and the scope of tactical training available through military professional development systems. "Senior Chief Thompson, I served as a medical officer with units conducting operations where medical personnel were required to function as fully integrated team members capable of fulfilling any tactical role necessary for operational success and personnel survival," she replied. Medical responsibilities included providing trauma care under hostile fire, but operational requirements also demanded tactical capabilities for reconnaissance, direct action, and independent operation when conventional support assets weren't available or tactically appropriate. Over the following days, Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's complete background was gradually revealed through official military channels, and her willingness to discuss operational experience that had previously been classified at security levels, preventing detailed explanation to personnel lacking appropriate clearances and operational need-to-know requirements. She had served with Army Special Forces medical detachments conducting operations in denied territory where medical personnel were trained as combat specialists because their missions required functioning in environments where conventional security wasn't available and medical officers needed capabilities that exceeded traditional healthcare roles. Her tactical training had been conducted at specialized military facilities that provided instruction to personnel operating in environments where combat effectiveness could determine mission success, personnel survival, and strategic objectives that affected broader military operations and national security interests. The operations I supported required medical personnel who could function as tactical specialists while maintaining medical expertise and healthcare responsibilities, Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez explained during comprehensive briefings with Thompson and facility leadership about her background and potential contributions to training effectiveness. The tactical training programs at the facility were significantly enhanced through integration of Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's specialized knowledge and advanced techniques that exceeded what was available through standard naval special warfare training resources and conventional instruction methodologies. Her combat methods provided instruction in sophisticated tactical techniques that enabled all personnel to achieve combat effectiveness against multiple opponents through superior technical knowledge and tactical application rather than relying solely on physical advantages or numerical superiority. Martinez, whose initial skepticism about Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez had been completely eliminated through witnessing tactical capabilities that exceeded his combat experience and training background, became one of her most dedicated students and strongest advocates for expanded tactical training integration throughout Naval Special Warfare Commands. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez demonstrated that exceptional tactical capability often disguises itself behind professional medical roles that don't reveal the full extent of someone's operational background and specialized training. Martinez would later explain to new SEAL candidates during advanced tactical instruction sessions. Williams, whose respect for diverse approaches to military service had been validated in ways that exceeded his previous understanding, found his comprehension of tactical medicine completely transformed through exposure to Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's integrated approach to healthcare and combat operations under the most demanding conditions. Thompson, whose professional assessment of Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez had undergone complete transformation, became one of her strongest supporters for expanded training responsibilities and recognition throughout naval special warfare leadership structures and tactical instruction programs. The tactical techniques that Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez shared were eventually adopted throughout Special Operations Training Commands, establishing enhanced standards for combat effectiveness that improve capabilities for personnel worldwide and enhanced facility security protocols at military installations. Her methods prove that superior tactical knowledge and technical precision could enable personnel to achieve combat effectiveness that exceeded conventional expectations, providing all operators with capabilities they had never believed possible through standard training approaches and traditional instruction methodologies. But perhaps Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's most important contribution was demonstrating that assumptions based on current professional assignments, apparent comfort levels with tactical training, and observable behavior patterns could be completely incorrect, and that exceptional tactical capability often chooses discretion over display until life-threatening circumstances require immediate demonstration of advanced combat skills. The story of the medical officer who defeated 5 armed intruders became legendary throughout naval special warfare, shared with new SEAL candidates as definitive proof that exceptional tactical capability often conceals itself behind professional medical roles that don't reveal the full scope of operational background and specialized combat training. The most important lesson from Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's tactical response, instructors would tell new candidates during advanced combat training, is that combat effectiveness is determined by results rather than assumptions, and that the people who appear least suited for tactical operations might possess the most advanced combat skills you'll encounter in military service. Years later, when Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez was promoted to senior leadership positions in Special Operations Medical Command, her legacy continued through tactical training programs that integrated medical knowledge with advanced combat techniques, and through enhanced security protocols that prevented discrimination based on assumptions about personnel tactical suitability and operational capabilities. Her story reminded everyone in special operations that medical personnel must maintain readiness for integrated tactical responsibilities that far exceed traditional healthcare roles, and that the most effective special operations medical officers are often those whose tactical training rivals or exceeds that of personnel whose primary military occupational specialty involves direct combat operations and tactical mission accomplishment. The moment when Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez had defeated 5 armed intruders had lasted only seconds, but its impact on naval special warfare training, facility security protocols, and tactical effectiveness continued for decades, reminding everyone that exceptional capability often chooses modesty over demonstration until circumstances demand immediate proof of advanced skills and tactical competence. The security incident that could have resulted in multiple casualties and facility compromise had instead revealed tactical expertise that enhanced the defensive capabilities and operational effectiveness of an entire special operations training facility, proving that sometimes the most valuable discoveries come from witnessing people demonstrate skills that completely contradict our assumptions about their background and specialized capabilities. Before we explore this extraordinary account, here's our question. Have you ever witnessed someone completely reverse a dangerous situation through skills that no one knew they possessed? Have you encountered moments where people's professional roles concealed capabilities that exceeded everyone's wildest expectations? Tell us in the comments about the times when you realized that the most dangerous people are often those who look the most harmless. And if you believe that true capability reveals itself through actions rather than appearances, and that underestimating people based on their current role can lead to profound surprises about what they're actually capable of achieving, hit that subscribe button to support our channel. Every story reminds us that exceptional abilities often hide behind modest professional roles, and that the people we dismiss as weak might possess exactly the skills needed to protect us when everything goes wrong. We'll see you in the next story where we'll discover another incredible tale of hidden expertise and the transformative power of proving your worth when lives depend on capabilities that no one knew existed.